moving forward a little bit, I'm not going to ask you about every single gig you had coaching, Jim. I know your resume is really long, but I am curious because you've coached at so many different levels. You've coached at high school, junior, university, CFL. Thinking back over that time span, thinking at those different levels, what stands out as far as differences between those levels of football when it comes to dealing with the players, the whole experience of it as far as differences at those different levels?
Well, I think obviously the biggest difference is the opportunity as you get to the older levels like university and CFL to minimize reps needed for a skill to be learned. The game is probably surprisingly similar at multiple levels, much more advanced with age as you get the older players, of course. But the biggest thing that stands out is that you eventually come to a point where you need 1 or 2 reps of a particular drill or skill per player for them to have that skill. Whereas when you're starting out with younger guys, sometimes it takes repeat for a long time, and that's okay. But that's a huge thing that stands out. Another thing is as players get older and more mature, there's a tendency probably to elevate them into a superhuman perspective, right? And I think you have to remember that they're players, they're people first. Whether you're coaching a 12-year-old or a 32-year-old, they're people first. And I think players deserve and respond to being treated as a person first and an athlete next.
Hey, Jim, just along that note, you talked about players. I'm real curious about how do you go about, or how can a player go about gaining his confidence or your confidence in him? What are, you talk about as you go up in ages with younger kids, you get a lot of reps and then you get less reps as you need less reps to learn the skill, but how do they gain your confidence? What stands out there?
Effort. If a player gives you effort, they deserve your confidence and your coaching. That, to me, that's number one. Take a player who may have different degrees of skill, sometimes not as good as a peer, but he can become a very good player in a defined role, whatever that role is, that suits his skill level, if he'll give you effort. And to me, that's crucial. Personally, everybody's different, but I respond to players who buy in and give effort. And I taught with a guy at St. Pius High School in Ottawa by the name of Ted LaRose. And I remember watching Ted. He was the head football coach of senior team and was outstanding for decades. But I remember in the spring, he used to coach track and field. He coached the throwing events. And I remember him spending day after day after day with one athlete out in the track area, field area. And I remember asking him, we were just sitting around the lounge or at a pub or something, I forget, and asking him, why did he use his time with one player? Like, put all that time into it. Whereas he's used to coaching, like we'd have 60 players in football. And his response was mind-boggling to me, is that as long as there's one player who has an interest, he deserves your full attention. And I think that's crucial. Like, if the player's interested, if the player's given effort, they deserve your buy-in as a coach too.